Well, first it was James Toney going from the canvas to the cage, and now an MMA fighter has decided to step into the ring. Welcome to MMA Live Extra. I'm Alex Loeb, and Strikeforce welterweight champ Nick Diaz and former IBF super middleweight champion Jeff Lacy have an agreement in place for a boxing match this fall. It would mark the first time an elite MMA champ would be going up against a high-profile boxer in his realm. Lacy has dropped 3 of his past 4 fights, including defeats at the hands of Roy Jones Jr. and Jermaine Taylor. But despite his recent struggles, many feel it's still an impossible task for Diaz. For more on this story, we bring in ESPN.com MMA insider Brett Okamoto. And Brett, are you among the Diaz doubters?
Yeah, I am, and I'm not a huge fan of Nick Diaz seeing what he can do in a boxing ring. I mean, not because it's not interesting. If this fight happens, I'll want to watch it. I'll be interested in the outcome. But you're a champion in your own sport, and you successfully defended the Strikeforce welterweight title. Keep doing that. Keep working towards a fight with George St. Pierre, which is something that you've said you wanted in the past, and it's something that can happen. We're not sure exactly when it can happen, but something that it looks like it will happen. People are interested in it. Keep working towards that. Him stepping in a cage against in a boxing ring against Jeff Lacy, I think is bad for his career. I think he loses the fight. So right now, I wouldn't want to see that happen for Nick.
And Brett, there is a caveat to making this fight happen. It seems that the Diaz camp may hold off on fighting Lacy. If Diaz were to get a title shot against GSP, what are the chances of that happening? And if it does, do you think Diaz will indeed turn down the chance to fight Lacy?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. It's hard to say what the chances are of a Nick Diaz-George St. Pierre fight being put together. I mean, it sounds like fans want it, and Dana White, obviously, he said that he has the right to do it. I mean, he owns the rights to both fighters, but some of the contract issues, for Nick Diaz coming from his Showtime contract over to the UFC, there are some kinks there to work out. So it's hard to say what the chances are. But if it did happen, I think obviously he would go ahead and skip the boxing match with Jeff Lacy, because the fight with George St. Pierre is something he's wanted for a long time. All
right, thanks for joining us, Brett. Appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you.
And just a reminder, we'll keep you up to date on all the latest news involving Diaz and GSP on MMA Live. Well, with UFC 130 fast approaching on Memorial Day weekend, the biggest name on the card may be Quinton Rampage Jackson. Jackson is set to face Matt Hamill at the event in a bout that could very well earn him a light heavyweight title shot. But Rampage recently reiterated his desire to leave MMA for a career in entertainment. And now joining us with more on this is Franklin McNeil. Franklin, you've spoken with Rampage in the past about this very topic. Where do you think his future is going to take him, and how long do you see him continuing to fight?
Well, the first part of your question, I think he's looking at a career in television or movies, and really Rampage sees himself as an entertainer these days more so than a fighter. He's looking to fight maybe 2 more years. Recently in November, he told me that he'd like to fight. He doesn't want to fight past 35. In June, he will be 33. Another factor in his decision to eventually walk away from the fight game is that he believes MMA has changed too much. He's been, even when he fought Machida, he wasn't thrilled about fighting him because he felt the style wasn't set up. Machida's style didn't allow for an exciting fight. He didn't like fighting Rashad because Rashad being a wrestler, he thought that would be a boring fight. Matt Hamill is primarily a wrestler, and Matt Hamill, whom he will be fighting at the end of this month, is also primarily a wrestler. Rampage is from the old school Pride days where he just fought and guys stood toe-to-toe. The Mauricio Huas of the world and the Wanderlei Silvas. That sport, that type of MMA is no longer around, and guys are more technical. So Rampage doesn't want to fight past the age of 35, and he's already mapped out his career, primarily in comedy, but in movies and television.
All right, we'll have to wait and see. Appreciate it, Franklin. We will talk to you next time. By the way, don't forget you can catch Franklin again on MMA Live, hosted by John Anik. That's this Friday at 11 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. Thanks again to Brett and Franklin, and thank you for joining us on MMA Live Extra. We will see you next time.